landscape. I mean, am I on a completely wrong track, or is this something you've thought about?
I think no, you're not. I think that the key word is the guilt when it comes to the relationship with the fathers. Indeed, the film does start when they left their fathers behind, or at least that's what they think. And but when you try to leave your father behind, then he comes back with the guilt. So that's, I think, obviously the knocking on the door. That's what Yassine's father does is that he fills them with the guilt. That's all he has left. And then why are they so mad with the fathers? That we don't quite know. But I believe that the mother gives life and the father gives the name. He gives this social origin. He gives you who you are, not as a human being, but as someone in the society. So you made me an Arab, something like this.
I wonder, why did you choose the hero to be a professor of philosophy?
Could you stand up when you speak so we can see you too? Okay, it's over here. The power of the anonymous audience member.
Why did I choose to make him a professor of philosophy? I wanted him to be a professor, and then if it had been mathematics or economics or something, then it would have been difficult for me to make the scene very interesting. At least when one talks about philosophy, then you tend to listen. That's why there are no deeper reasons.
But you do seem to fold into the philosophy lectures reflections on being, the self and the other, just like you do in the theater performance.
Yes, of course, but then you don't necessarily need a character who's a philosophy professor to do that. On the contrary, it can be a bit awkward, but, well...
Oh, sorry, we'll go to the right first, here. To our right.
Supplémentaire à la question précédente, et pourquoi professeur Alena?
It's a continuation of the previous question. Why Professor Alena?
Alena is the school where the future servants of the state and the most brilliant members of the administration go to. That's what Yassine wants to do. He wants to be brilliant. He wants to have a life. He is very ambitious for himself. He's not ambitious in terms of money or something. He's ambitious in terms of accomplishment. So Lena is the place to be, really.
École normale.
Préparation à l'ENA, à l'école normale supérieure. But il est en prépéna à l'ENS.
So it's the National School of Administration or Business or something. ENA. Sorry, just for all of us who don't know. Yes.
You don't care.
Also, auf Deutsch bitte. Also insbesondere hat die Musik in Ihrem Film hat mir sehr, sehr gut gefallen. Also mir ist es stark aufgefallen, dass die Filmmusik von Anfang an bis zum Ende ganz konsequent durchgezogen ist, nämlich also mit der klassischen Musik. Und auch vor allem beim Vorspann war das auch sehr interessant zu hören, weil das mich erinnert hat, also an die Filmmusik von Alfred Hitchcock oder also die klassische Hollywood-Film aus den 50er Jahren. Also können Sie uns vielleicht ein bisschen verraten, also was für Musikkonzept Sie dabei gehabt haben?
Okay.
Danke.
The question was that she was very taken by the music throughout the film and the use of classical music throughout, and then in particular in the title credit sequence, the music which reminded her of the music from Alfred Hitchcock films, and so she's very interested to hear something about your concept for the music in the film.
Okay. Well, Hitchcock is a great reference, of course, and we did talk about him with the musician. The music is here in the film to bring tension and pour accompagner les émotions.
To accompany the emotions.
Okay. And
it's a difficult one.
And actually, to tell you the truth, we had no money at all to have a whole orchestra record the music. So the musician I work with, he is famous in his field, so he's not famous, but in his field he is, and he very kindly gave me access to all his work, so I could have in this very cheap film a very rich music. I mean, if we
Okay, there is a question over here. No, are there other? Oh, there's one in the middle. Oh, could you wait for the microphone, please?
About the money. Could you tell us about the budget?
Here's the money question. It's the question about the budget.
Are there people? Because I'm not. I didn't have the right to make the film with the money we had, because I'll tell the truth. We made the film with the 400,000 euros that the region Île-de-France gave to us, 400,000. But then in France you're not allowed to make a film with only public money. The public institutions, to give you the money, they need to know that there is private money. There was not. So we decided that the salaries we would not get are investments from us in the film and so on. But then I can say the budget is 400,000.
Is there? Okay, an honest director about its money. Was there a question over here? May I ask just a somewhat maybe provocative question then? Just again about the story that in the story of meeting across cultures, across cultural difference and class difference, the nice rich white Frenchman who does welcome the Arab French student into his house seems to die as a result of it, and then the young Arab student gets his wife. I mean that's one kind of harsh reading. I don't think that's the direction that you would want to go, but perhaps it's a critique on a French bourgeoisie.
You mentioned Yassine as Arab all the time. You say Arab French or French Arab, and that's, for me, as an actor and interpreter of this, it's something that you should put aside, because that's exactly why the reason why I was so moved with the script, and the reason why I really gave a lot of je sais pas comment dire en anglais. J'ai vraiment mis toute ma confiance et tout mon travail dans le savoir de Mehdi, du réalisateur, à cause de cette chose.
I think it's that precisely the fact that Mehdi doesn't see the character as a French Arab is part of the reason why he threw all of his trust and confidence and the knowledge of his trade into performing that role. So he thinks it's wrong of me,
not wrong,
or not maybe not the most productive way to talk about that relationship.
But this is the heart of the film.
Yeah.
Yassine does not want to be an Arab, and yet he is. And people are being very kind to him sometimes, or sometimes not that kind, for the specific reason. It's his drama, you know. It's always about him being an Arab.
And so that kind of dynamic, even that we're hearing of from you, Mehdi, as an actor, that you would acknowledge that, but want to be beyond that, want the character not to be reduced to this
for me,
cultural ethnic.
This guy has a problem with his image, but it's not a cultural problem. It's just an image. It's like what he represents to others, but it's not inside something that he profoundly, deeply is.
And do you see which guy? The character you play.
Maya.
And do you see the philosophy professor? Does he